Hello lovely people and welcome to my channel. I'm Jessica, this is my wife Claudia.
Hello.
I talk about disabilities, chronic illness, LGBTQ+ things and also vintage fashion. If you're new here, this is probably a strange one for the algorithm to have recommended for you, but hi! Do have a look, settle down, get a cup of tea and have some fun. And of course, if you're not new here, then you're probably very much used to this type of thing. One of my most popular videos is explaining what's wrong with my hands. It's an often overlooked part of my disability because they don't necessarily look that much like there's something wrong with them. I love your face.
I'm also staring at them like, what is? I don't.
I can see.
Yeah, but then when I first met you, I thought your hearing aids were one of those little like Bluetooth phone things.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just,
might be
I'm just clueless.
Particularly oblivious person.
As my wife says, she is here to give me challenges to experience the world. I live in a little hut at the end of the garden. I've been there for 20 years. Very sheltered.
We let her come out occasionally.
Yeah, exactly. Today is a good day.
It can be really hard for people to understand what it's like to live with disabilities that aren't very visible. What's wrong with my hands, you ask? Well, good question. So, when I was 17, I paralysed my arms for a year and a half. Surprise! Awful at the time, but also great, because finally I had something obvious I could point to and say, I told you something weird was happening. Yes, unbeknownst to anyone, I was born with a condition called hereditary neuropathy with liability to pressure palsy, also known as HNPP. It's a condition that affects your nerves, and it affects all different people differently, but from day one, my skin hurt, and my hands take a lot of effort to move. Normally, if there's pressure on part of your body, you might feel tingling sensations, numbness, pain, or weakness. Hello, all for pins and needles. But with HNPP, muscle atrophy and paralysis can also occur, with palsies lasting from minutes, or days, to weeks, or even months. And boy, is it hard to get that muscle strength back once it's gone. So, to help Claudia experience what it's like to live with my hands, I'm going to challenge you to a series of tasks wearing special gloves. The idea of the gloves is they should hold your hands in a very similar position to how my hands naturally are. My fingers curl in and they feel like they have bobbly bits in between them. I know, it sounds great, doesn't it? Also, I can't feel my skin, hence glove. So they have elastic that runs down the fingers, which should, in theory, make your hands claw.
My hands are so incredibly strong. They just won't. Is that what you're saying?
We're gonna find out what happens.
Okay.
So on the inside they have elastic running up the finger to pull hers down, and on the outside some fun frozen coloured beads. Because who doesn't love Elsa and Anna? So all of these challenges that I'm about to present you with are based on things that I struggle with. So I want to see how much this type of thing will affect you, and...
You want me to see how difficult your life is. That's what you're trying to say. And that I should always be on hand to, excuse the pun, open jars, etc.
Exactly. So we're going to start with some jars. Let's open jars.
Here we have some non-branded peanut butter.
Non-branded
peanut butter.
It's fine, it's whole earth, crunchy, organic peanut butter.
Yes, it's the best one.
Claudia and Rupert like to love. You've been given an added hardship in that yours has never been opened before.
I loosened that one for you. Several times, in fact. Okay.
Ready? Challenge, begin. I didn't think through that this needs hand and arm strength. Yay! I've opened it.
There we go. But that did hurt a lot. It was actually more challenging because of like the lack of grip because of the gloves.
I find that I
the beads.
put a lot of strength, a lot of tension into the
it was basically
it
basically all had to come here.
Yeah.
I can grip my fingers and then the strength of opening the jar is actually further up.
You use your incredible.
Yeah, it's my workout for the day.
What do my hands feel like? Clubs. Honestly, they sometimes feel like blocks at the ends of my arms. Sensory feedback? Not great. Tension. Is there a reason that you're not straight? Hashtag Pride Month. Claude. Why don't my fingers go together? I am not intentionally curling them like this. It's just how they are. Unless I flop my wrist, and then they're unable to move. But I can't really raise my wrist, so I just spin it around. You know, now that I'm looking at it, that is a bit odd.
Do your hands feel itchy all the time? Because like these beads are really like irritating and make my fingers feel really itchy.
But yeah, so obviously I don't actually have beads in between my fingers all the time.
We have like a nerve condition.
That's just to give the feeling that I have, which is an odd like gappy, spacey feeling between my fingers. I can't really explain it. But yes, I do have odd nerve pangs, and then I rub my fingers.
Yeah, you do rub them a lot. I thought that was more of a like, you know, ADHD tick.
Oh.
That you rub your fingers actually. Because it seems to be when you're anxious that you start doing it more. So that's why.
Alright, challenge number 2. We are going to be eating grapes using a knife and fork the proper way.
That's how we eat our grapes here.
My goodness, no it's not. We're going to be eating them on my great-grandmother's crockery, aesthetic purposes, and because our normal plates are in the wash, don't judge. Thank you so much.
I've got more grapes than you. This is very unfair.
We've got the same number of grapes now.
Okay, I mean we do have an ant problem, so you should just throw food around like that.
Without your gloves on, without your gloves on, you were quite good at slicing through a grape.
Quite good. I think that was like excellent work actually. I mean how much better was it meant to be?
I actually use special cutlery at home.
Yeah, but that would be giving you an unfair advantage right now.
Okay, I might strike.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I didn't think they had to give you droopy arms.
I could hold my elbows here. I was like,
no. Oh, I've got it. I've sliced it.
I did it.
But I had my fork the right way up, so. Our next challenge. What are you doing? You can still use your hands.
I'm scratching my face.
We're going to do a typing challenge. We're going to see how much of a paragraph we can type in 30 seconds. Bum, bum, bum. The paragraph is going to be part of Rupert's new favourite book, Kings and Queens. He's very into Kings and Queens right now, which Claudia knows so much about. You know what's really interesting? When my hands were fully paralysed, the trackpads wouldn't recognise them either.
Oh.
I think because they were really cold.
Or you're using your nails, like because they were like curved or something, and you're trying to like.
Oh, that's true.
So maybe like because I think they only recognise like the pad of your finger, don't they?
Yeah.
But you're right. I think it had to do with coldness because I get Raynaud's and like the car touchscreen won't respond when my fingers are really cold.
3, 2, 1.
Stop. Oh.
Okay, well I was seeing it for the very first time.
Yeah, and so was I the first time I did it. So you only got 28, but compared to when I had my gloves on, which is actually more comparable to you. Or is it? Because you do type every day and you have a lot of practice and a lot of things. It's more comparable. Is 1, 2, 3. How do you do that? Just do the. Can you highlight it? 18.
There you go. So you got 18 words with your gloves on.
It was harder. And that was having read it before.
Well, there we go.
I feel like we're about to sit an exam.
I know, this is very exam conditions. So, our next challenge is a writing challenge. So we're going to be writing down, we are going on a bear hunt, which Claudia has previously written. Now, when my hand's paralysed, I thought it was a great opportunity to learn some new handwriting. So it looks completely different to how it did.
Your handwriting is very neat.
Thank you. It looks completely different to how it did before my hands were paralysed. The thicker the pen, the easier. Right, let's go.
Okay.
Also, I have to write it sideways.
Okay. Ready?
Talk through your issues, Claudia. What's happening?
Just having to grip the pen a lot harder than normal as well.
Do you find that you're very much gripping the pen with all your fingernails?
I don't have any fingernails.
Oh, that is an issue, yes.
No, it feels just grip, like more having to use more like muscle strength.
Yeah, I find that when I grip a pen, it's very much around this area at the front here, but it really aches.
But we hold pens differently, so maybe I would have to adjust how I hold, because like you hold like that, see, like which basically lifts the knuckles apart from each other, but because I guess you have the beads there. But like I hold like this, and I'm trying to write how I normally write, which is very uncomfortable.
As you can see, there's lots of tension here. This is why I used to find chopsticks easier to use. I don't know. I think
because you went to writing school. And trained your fingers.
No, it's one of those things. It's a bizarre thing, but I found it easier when my fingers started working again to use chopsticks.
Yeah, it's less of a grip on a chopstick, isn't it? Because you kind of just let your hand, it's just it's pincer movement, isn't it? Whereas knife and fork, it's like really, you gotta really grip it.
Yeah.
Maybe also the type of food that you eat with chopsticks is generally like already in smaller bits or is softer.
Yeah.
Like
noodles.
Whereas like knife and fork is like a slab of meat that you've got to cut up. Or something like that.
I can't eat anything. I get Claudia to cut my food if it's too hard.
Indeed.
Can't do anything big and meaty. Oh my god, you did it! For our next challenge, something many people struggle with, we're going to be putting on a bracelet with a clasp. I normally get Claudia to do these anyway, and now let's see if she can do it whilst experiencing what it's like to not get sensory feedback from your fingers. Difficult.
Yeah, I feel like it's just mainly all this like fabric in my hands just getting in the way.
That's what I feel like with my fingers though, like there's just so much extra flesh.
Extra bits of skin. Ta-da! It was a bit more of a struggle than how I normally do it though, wasn't it?
That was too easy. Wait, okay, now I'm gonna do it on you. If I can get it off. I've done it! In this challenge, I present you a mirror eyeliner.
I can't even like, I have to hold the mirror as well. You gotta hold it for me.
I can hold it.
Okay, yeah, because that's like an added challenge.
The eyeliner is white, so we can see your work.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Can I just like, you know, tell everybody that
Cards on the table, yeah.
I'm so bad at eyeliner. I can do this eye okay. I can do this eye terribly. Like, I don't know if I've got like an extra skin fold here, or it's just the fact that like maybe I use my right eye.
Yeah,
I have no idea, but like,
you do have eyelids.
I do have eyelids. I mean, compared to you.
I don't. That's why I find eyelids fascinating. And like so much space there.
Come on then, so what if I
really do things
I've got to do it without gloves.
So one eye without gloves, one eye with gloves.
Oh, okay, well then I'm going to go for the eye that I find difficult without, and then I'll do the,
That's the smart move.
Yeah, I'm a bit taller than that, darling.
Okay, you can do this.
You can't help but look in a mirror and like, you know, just adjust yourself a bit.
She's gorgeous, she's gorgeous.
Okay, like literally this is a genuine question. Am I meant to do this? Like you do with mascara? Or am I meant to do this?
My eyes are really small, so I can see through them perfectly fine, whilst it looks like they're closed. So
basically close it and just look through one eye. Is that what you're saying?
No, like, I can still see through my eye.
No, but it doesn't matter. You've only got one eye that can see, so that's why it matters to you. But I'm saying I can see through the other eye, can't I? So I'm going to do it like this.
Claudia using her good hand.
Normally when I put it on, I just leave my eye open, to be honest.
You do you, honey. All eyes are different. It's probably harder.
I obviously don't, because I instinctively shut my eye. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's gone on already. It doesn't help that you're wobbling around all over the place.
This eyeliner, by the way, is amazing.
Is it?
It's the NYX.
So amazing that in a minute I'm going to look like I've done this perfect eyeliner.
Why do you do it from the outside in?
Because no one's... How are you meant to know these things? Who taught you how to do your makeup?
Myself.
I don't know.
Well, so when I do my right eye...
I've done it. I'm going to go downstairs
so this is your good eye?
Scream. I mean, in the whole time that we've known each other, which is 10 years, coming up to 10 years.
I didn't talk you out of wearing eyeliner.
How many days of those 10 years do you think I actually wore eyeliner with you?
Well, solidly for the first 2 years,
That's it. Yeah, probably there's video evidence of that, probably, isn't there?
Yeah.
But then after fake eyelashes, which I actually really liked. I think they really accentuated my eyes. I just got over that faff all the time, though.
No, after that point, I think you just stopped. And it looks so much better.
I think I stopped for a while, and you were like, because I didn't wear eyeliner to work. I don't think. No. And then you were like...
No, you did when we first met.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you straightened the front of your hair and put eyeliner on. It was really odd.
I thought it was still the year 2000.
You would only straighten the front part.
Yeah, and then I'd tie my hair up.
And the rest was curly.
And you'd have like these wavy bits here and then just like really straight.
But the hair was really long. It was long.
My hair is definitely like calmer though, isn't it? I use better shampoo.
Yes.
Thank you, Kerastess.
Thank you, Kerastess.
I have better haircuts. Thank you, Trevor Sorby.
Thank you.
And you know, basically just have more money now. Is what we're saying.
expensive having curly hair.
It is. Yeah. I still only get my hair cut like twice a year. Did you also give me the white one because you're like, I'm never going to wear white, and if Claudia wastes it, it doesn't matter. God, this mirror is so freaky. It made me feel like I'm on a boat. I've got one eye open as it is. Perspective is all skewed.
I can't
it was so much easier doing eyeliner when it was fashionable to basically just have really thick eyeliner. Yeah.
Just cover your entire eyelid.
Which basically what I've done. I mean, that's not eyeliner, that's just like, I've just like Tipp-Ex my eyelid.
Close up of this one. I love that the glove is in it. That's amazing. If she'd maybe not like spread it back and forth, it would have.
Alright, so I've learnt something now, so go from in to out.
In to out, like a smooth motion.
What am I doing? I'm just like pushing all my skin folds in, basically. You know what though? I swear my mum, she always used a pencil, not a liquid one. And like, I swear she used to like hold her eye like this, and I swear she used to go like back and forth a bit.
Was that her under eye? Because that's understandable.
That would explain why she was doing that.
Yay! Well done.
Yay! I have my
all of the challenges. All right.
Sorry to be so insensitive.
Yeah, jeez. So, what did you learn?
I think the main takeaway is how I have much more appreciation of my hands. I did actually, just as a side note to that, have my hands insured before.
Oh yeah.
Very specifically. Because that's like, when I used to practice as a dentist, as in like I used to be a dentist, I had to have specialist insurance that specifically covered my hands. Because it was like, it was like job specific insurance. So it's like, well, if I have hand damage, you know, yeah.
They're not insured anymore.
They're not insured anymore. But it did make me, this challenge made me appreciate my hands and how much we do with our hands and how much we rely on everything in our daily life by using our hands, like dressing ourselves and feeding ourselves.
What did you find to be the hardest part? Like not getting any feedback from them, having them be quite taut, or having them have like gaps?
The gaps.
The gaps.
What was the worst, yeah.
Yeah, being separated.
Yeah. I think certain things you close your hands together and certain things you open them wide. Like you need to be able to do both to have proper full function.
Yeah, I think clawed hands can be quite difficult for things like opening jars. Is definitely.
Yeah, because you want to have that wide
tricky one for sure. And also even
no, but that was I think the only jar you think you normally do it like this, like wide. Like I think people open wide to get a better grip, but because of the tension, I wasn't able to. So that was the reverse tension that stopped me from being able to open around it. I don't know.
I mean, I learned a lot of things through these challenges as well, such as I've adapted to just do things differently and in many other ways. And that's great, isn't it?
And your typing is faster than mine.
It is!
Because actually, even like if you have like a certain area where you're not as able physically, sometimes it just shows that practice in that area makes you just as good, if not more proficient.
Yeah, I do type a lot. And also, I like my handwriting better than yours.
Yes, your handwriting is very good. People always comment, and Jessica always writes the birthday cards, even sometimes on occasion, ants on the table again.
Oh my god. Don't judge.
We do clean our house. We blame the fact Walter's not here anymore because he was basically our little like Hoover. Yeah, we miss him for other reasons. And what was I saying?
Things like having paralysed hands, having to learn to rewrite. I was like, well, learn some nice handwriting. Yeah. Why not?
See the positive side of it.
Exactly.
I would not be so good, I don't think, with sudden like adversity, which affected my physical self, because I just get so frustrated. I get frustrated at the best of times. Like if I can't open a jar now, I get frustrated.
Yeah.
But I think is that to do with the fact that I think I am able to do it, so then when I can't, it frustrates me. Whereas because you have like no bar, you're like, nah, can't do it anyway.
Oh well, can't do that today. Never mind.
Yeah, like
find someone else to open the jar for me.
Yeah, maybe that's it. You're like less worried about asking for help.
That's true. I'm quite okay asking for help. I think that's a good thing. People should always be comfortable asking for help in any situation. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this video as well. Let me know what you took away from it and if you learned anything in the comments down below. And we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and of course a special thank you to the members of the Kellgren-Fozard Club for making videos like this possible. See you in our next video. Bye. Bye.